Okay. Um, does everybody know Jim?
Yeah.
Hi, Jill.
Okay.
Hi, Jill.
No. So the first item is public comment for items not on the agenda. Public here. No neighbor, no other neighbor.
I have a thing.
Yes? Yeah.
So I have a friend who asked me today if he could use the firehouse to have a meeting. He does not live in the neighborhood, but he said that in 2017, Ron Manganello allowed him to have a meeting here. And I said I would ask tonight. What's the story about that? Do you have any idea?
Did you get any details as to how many people and does he know the condition of the firehouse?
Yeah. Yes, he does. I mean, yes. It's a very uh, yes. It's not. They're not picky about that at all. They just need a space. It's probably going to be about 6 people. I mean, we can say no, and he can find somewhere else. I just wanted to know if it was a possibility, because he's kind of desperate right now because he's about to maybe get foreclosed on by his bank, and so he can't really have it at his house. But he is friends of lots of people in the neighborhood. His name is Mark Montalban.
It's fine with me.
Hope he doesn't try to squat in the firehouse.
Yeah.
I don't think he can live much. I don't think he can live very long in that place.
I think if
No,
that's
no. He didn't request just a meeting, not a squatting.
Well, yeah, that's where it starts.
We haven't been
And
meeting it for 2 years because of the conditions, and if he's okay with that, we can't have any responsibility for people getting ill.
Okay, I will make that very clear to him.
And
he can.
Maybe through you, some notice to the community about when it's gonna happen.
Okay.
it would seem to me like you should just let him do it personally and have nothing to do with the Prudential Committee.
And have what?
And it should not have anything to do with the Prudential Committee, right?
Okay, I wasn't sure, so I just figured I'd err
Yeah.
on the safe side and ask.
I mean, I like from my perspective, we don't have a policy for dealing with it, and
Hmm.
we don't really have a way to give permission. I mean, we could, but you can give permission personally and just unlock the door for him. Don't give him the code for the lockbox, but unlock
Right.
the door for him to use it, and then make sure that he's gone when he's done.
Okay, I
And
can
to,
do
and to,
that.
obviously explain that, well, it's not in great condition. If you have an allergy to mold or something, it's going to be your own. It's not our fault.
Right. Yes, I think he'll be very appreciative and not worry about. He won't mind the mold at all. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your time on that, folks.
Labor Day weekend, is that when he's planning on doing?
Labor Day weekend? I have no idea. No. No.
Because
Why did you think that?
The furnishings are going to be used on Labor Day weekend.
Oh, okay. The furnishings are going to be used.
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend, the furnishings are going to be used.
Yeah.
As
Just
well as the actual building itself?
No, not the building.
Oh, just the furnishings. Okay. All righty. Thank you so
Janice,
much.
Janice, Steve, I was going to borrow the tables and some of the chairs.
Oh, yes. I saw your email. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so those things are usable. The firehouse, unfortunately, is not. Anyone who wants to deal with the mold is welcome to use it, I guess. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Ready.
Perfect.
Next, any other non-agenda business? Great. So moving on, the approve the minutes from the previous meeting. I have copies here. If anybody needs a copy. Yes. Is there a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion.
And is there a second?
Yep. I second.
Yes. Okay, is there any discussion on the minutes? And if not, all in favor, aye? Any
Aye.
opposed or
Aye.
abstained? Okay, great, thank you. This next item I've been having on here basically just to make sure we keep in mind that we still have confusion about how to communicate with each other. Steve Crawley is here. He's been a big help in helping me remember which Google group to use to post things. The big one here is to make sure that we get a new Zoom link at some point. And Steve's here, and tell us when that deadline is, Steve.
No deadline,
Or deadline.
no deadline, but I'd like to, currently, Fairdish is using my personal Zoom account, which is okay. I think it'd be better if we were not.
Oh, so okay, I thought there was a contract involved.
I don't, to be honest, I couldn't tell you. I'd probably pay near the beginning of the year for a full year. So maybe that's good. But I don't use it for all I used to use it for lots of purposes, and they're all gone, except for this one. So I'd like to just let that account expire. And it's like 150 a year, roughly. And the big difference between that and the free, well, the one that I'm most aware of, the only one I'm aware of, I'm sure there are other differences, but the one I'm aware of is that the free accounts limit you to 40 minutes.
Right.
And so by using somebody's account, you get unlimited up to 24 hours. So if you want to hold a meeting, a marathon meeting, you could. So anyway,
So does Mandy have a credit card?
we have, Andy and I keep it in our
I said
possession.
Mandy.
No, Andy,
Okay. So
you have,
all right.
yes, we have a credit card. The fire district has a card that Andy and I use mainly for water related things. So we have it in our possession.
The reason I ask is if we want to just have the fire district, set up an account and pay for it. I'm just wondering if it best be done via that credit card or whether Mandy, as our treasurer, would be able to just purchase it.
I think
We ought to look into alternatives as well. It doesn't might not make sense to pay for a Zoom account. Google Meet has the same capabilities and I think is free.
Mhm.
And if not, I have some other accounts in Google.
Will Google Meet work on this technology here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's the exact same platform, essentially. I mean, same technology.
So would you, between now and the next month, will you let us know what that link
Yeah,
might be?
I'll double check. I think the limit to recording there is 8 hours. So, and as we move through the secretary clerk role stuff, I think that we'll be able to replace, the meeting minutes creation, transcription, et cetera, with automated tools that are available really easily.
So it's 8 hours a month
What's that?
here? So it's 8 hours a month, is your understanding?
In a single recording.
Oh, 8 hours of recording.
Yeah, I think I'll look into it. I'll look into the limits and see what's what. I do have a paid Google account as well through my company that I can use. But if the free one will do it, it's best to just use their free products. But I don't think that it's worth. I mean, my point is, I don't think it's worth paying the expense of a ongoing subscription to Zoom. I don't unless somebody. I mean, we can. Unless anybody has any specific reason that we should be using Zoom rather than a different platform.
It's easy to put Google Meet on your computer if you don't have it. It's an easy download.
It just goes in the browser. You don't have to install any software.
Yeah. Yeah, it's established.
Established, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I-
either people either use Zoom or Meet.
How about you, Janice?
I've been using Google Meet for the last 2 years, and it's fine. I've already got it on my devices.
Well, that sounds like a direction to go in.
It's better than Microsoft.
Yeah.
Well, let me know as soon as you activate, like,
Yeah.
because I'll shut down my account as soon as
Okay,
you
yeah, we
actually.
can. I'll look into it in the next week or two and just make sure that it'll meet our needs. Our needs are pretty, they're pretty low compared to corporate stuff that goes on. So hopefully we can use it. I'll confirm by email to everyone, and then we'll create a new link for that.
And you probably have to have like um, however, if somebody signs up for it, you have to use some email address that's like the owner or something. And you should probably figure out what that is, whether it's one of the fire district emails or a personal email.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I don't mind being an editor. We might be able to do it like we might be able to sort of spoof it into going to the one of the QCP role addresses or something. I think there's a secretary email address.
So the other
Or-
part that's confusing, we still haven't figured out how to do it since Steve has moved on. Steve Quimbley has moved on, is getting it on the website, getting the recording of the meetings onto the website.
Oh, I can put
Yeah.
that stuff up. It's really easy.
Yeah,
What we should do is
it's not hard.
Sure.
I did send you an email a ways back. I was asking where the recordings go, because they're going to the cloud. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out where it was going.
Which cloud?
Okay. Well, it would be worth other people taking a look at the cloud for one thing to see what kind of organization. It's not great right now. It could be better, but on that matter, it's worth knowing that we have a shared drive, but it's set up as two shared drives, one for the PC and one for the water.
Mhm.
I have been putting the stored. I haven't figured. First of all, when we off, this might be different on Google Meet. Very good chance it's different with Google Meet, but with Zoom, we record the meetings to the cloud, to the Zoom cloud, their proprietary cloud, and then that's, I can go at that on my account. That's, you could too on that account, and download it from there, because I haven't figured out a way to move it directly from the Zoom cloud to our Google cloud. But from Google Meet, that might be a direct transfer.
Yeah, it might be, since it's all Google.
And then, so those are big files. So I think it's good to have a hard copy of things as well as the cloud.
Like tonight I'm copying this meeting to the computer.
To the computer. Okay.
So, since we're gonna have this transition, why don't we just hold off on this until the Google Meet gets set up and we can learn how to put the meeting.
There are
I'd like to try to get us to Google Meet for the next meeting.
Yeah.
It's
Peter?
So in terms of posting these things to the website, it's pretty straightforward. What I think we'll need to do, what we should do moving forward, is have the folder where all of the recordings are stored will just be embedded in the website. And so when you update the drive, it updates on the website. You don't have to add a separate link. So that anybody that has access to that drive and can add a file there, like the recording file, it will automatically display on the website. And so we don't have any more website editors. And then the Google, any of these things, you can probably determine the location where the file is output within the Google Drive. And so it'll be pretty easy to do that as well. In terms of having hard copies of stuff, the cloud, the shared cloud is much more secure and reliable than a laptop. And over the last years, I've migrated all of my own data into the cloud. Like my desktop is sitting on the cloud, not in my computer. You have to keep paying your subscription forever, but don't lose your password. But other than that, I think there's no in these days, there's not really, people aren't doing physical backups like locally on hard drives anymore. That's kind of gone. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I just copied it to this computer tonight because I didn't know where these meetings were going to. Because they're going somewhere.
No, of course.
Well, I would double check. I mean, you might want to look I've talked to VLCT, League of Cities and Towns, this is a matter under public records law that we
Mhm.
store these things. And, they might know what other communities are doing regarding cloud versus hard copy.
Well,
I was
yeah, the
thinking
nice thing
about
about the cloud and open meeting and public records, the
Right.
cloud can be exposed to anybody and everybody, and offers total transparency and storage in perpetuity with no physical vulnerability. So,
Right, I have no problem with that, it's just the consistency and, just whether
sure.
that's as reliable long-term as we did have all our records go up in flames once, so that can happen.
So hold on down just a second, I want to check with Jill. In terms of note taking, this is just discussion. Okay, so and getting everything down, you're not get back to me to get every word down, right? You got it. Yeah, okay, good. Just want to check in. Yeah. So I think the decision here is to wait for the Google Meet and try to consolidate it all on that platform.
Yeah, I mean, Peter said he'd take a look. I'll take a look as well.
Okay.
And it's not that hard.
And if we can have it ready for the next meeting, we'll alert Steve Crawley to that. You can relieve yourself of that.
Okay.
And then in terms of note taking, the platforms take the notes for us, so it's not we don't, that element of the secretary role is no longer required.
I was on board with that automated, and somebody needed to be at the meeting to check the transcription, so it was accurate that way. Or
Okay.
reflected the content. Yeah.
So the transcription will be based on the recording that we take. So we'll have the
Right.
recording to verify against, and we can do it. We can run it multiple times through different services if we have to do like some kind of backup.
So Peter,
Yeah,
let me ask you a
anyway.
question. So we have this this Zoom recording, Teams recording, whatever. That has an audio component. Is there something in the tool that basically creates a text transcript of the audio, and then that in turn is used is put into an AI?
Yeah, there are a few ways to do it. I think so Google has an assistant. I mean, they all have assistants that you can use when you pay. I have something like that in my work level account. I need to see what the best way to share it would be. What I've done in the past, and for the most accurate transcription, actually, is to upload the video of the meeting or the audio of the meeting into YouTube, which automatically creates closed captions of the entire meeting, and then you can take that text and then process that however you want. So you can take that and put it in GPT or Gemini or whatever you'd like to use. And then you can also, verify that text against the audio itself. But it is, it's closed caption for video is dead accurate. There's no, I mean, it's.
So
it's
I've uploaded videos to YouTube. So
Yeah.
there's something in YouTube that basically.
Yeah, they put closed captions on everything. That's how they make their money, is they take all the data out of these things and do what they want with it. But you can capture the closed caption of any video that's out there. They display it in the in the interface, and then you can just cut and paste.
But I can create the tool can create an output file with a
So
transcript.
YouTube, this is a cheater. Like that's a cheater method, which is that you're leveraging YouTube's free capabilities to do what you want. So you have to physically cut and paste the text out of it yourself. But you can do it in one swipe. It's pretty easy. The other platforms will create a file, whatever type file you want.
I just add that somebody's gonna need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I could look into it. I can look into it. I hate to have to dive back into my previous life as a tech person.
So
Really
there is a responsibility that we said somebody's gonna need to do it, so there is still a position.
Yeah.
There is still a responsibility for somebody to actually manipulate this information.
Yeah, I mean, the potential issue I have is, when you throw it into the AI engine to summarize the transcript, and it may or may not accurately reflect, because these tools don't pick up on irony very well and that type of thing. So,
Yeah, but
but we
they're
could
very
give it a
good at doing
shot.
high level summaries and meetings, and I can try to do it a little, after the meetings. I think it's something that like it's not a high level task, so it sounds like we're going to have trouble getting this stuff done, and this is like a 5 minute chore to create it and read through it instead of sitting through the entire meeting then and writing notes about it and then creating another document and then editing the document and then sending it out. This is like take the recording, process it, read it, make sure it's like accurate, and then send it to the committee for everybody to read over.
If we were all trained, it would all take a month to do that. Let me just say
What's
that.
that? No, well, I mean,
I-
I do that in 3 minutes, so it's I don't want to volunteer for it, but I will if we need to fill the labor on that, I can do it pretty quickly. It's not a big deal.
The question of records, public records, I can reach out to the league and get an understanding of that, how municipalities are doing their records in terms of the cloud. And, so great. Let's wrap up this. I think that was good. I think we got some direction to go on. And thanks for offering to lead us.
Yeah, the other thing is we did purchase a hard drive, a solid state drive, to put tons of water records, et cetera, on that for storage. So that at least 2 terabytes. So
As a backup.
as a backup, as instead of relying on any one particular person's computer or even this laptop. I don't know what the storage is on the laptop.
But all of this that's on this physical drive is also in the cloud, right?
Not everything. It may be that it all ends up there.
Because the cloud is really the best place to put everything. It has the most security. It's not going to burn down,
But you and Andy are doing that for the water records anyway.
Yes.
Great. Okay, I think keeping it up, and then we'll have a place to put it on the new firehouse, a nice special place when the time comes. In the fireproof vault that we have.
Yeah, we get some of these, somebody per person today.
So let's move on. It's 7 o'clock, and the next item is everybody okay with moving on?
Well, wait, what about how best to communicate with each other and comply with open meeting rules and procedures, which is also in the 6:50 PM section?
So that's just a placeholder to make sure that we're compliant, and we are so far.
Okay.
I'll rearrange this item for the next time. I don't think we'll need to talk about it much more.
Okay, thanks.
If, the biggie for us is not to have communications through email that involves all of us.
Okay. Just private one-on-one conversations are allowed.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Anything related to setting an agenda or setting meetings is fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to have an open meeting to talk about when you're gonna have a meeting.
Information is fine to share.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
This item was asked for by Peter, organizing and empowering a committee to manage the firehouse work. So you all know that we have a municipal energy resiliency program committee. Steve, Peter, and myself, Barb, Pollock, and Gary, Lori, and Lynn Vera. And we're in the process of having discussions with the architect about some real decisions about moving forward. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that at some point in the past, the PC talked about this and authorized this group to move forward. Which I think it did in some year. I mean, this is about the 3rd year we've been talking about this. So it's really moving forward. The architect will have some plans. So there will be a lot of decisions to be made. I'm not so concerned about those decisions. But when the time comes for us to sign contracts and for us to decide on perhaps the contractor, that committee should advise the PC for a final approval. on things that are binding to them. Any kind of lending that we have to do, or borrowing actually, any kind of formalities that require contracts, that should come to the PC. Peter, did you have any other just any ideas about that?
Well, if the committee was created or empowered or acknowledged or otherwise by the Prudential Committee in the past, can somebody dig up where that was? I wasn't on the committee at that time, on the Prudential Committee at that time, that I'm aware of. So if we can figure out what that language was, I think that might be a good place to start. I wasn't aware of that. But we need to decide. We've talked about this in the Firehouse Committee more than we have here, but we need to figure out, what's the process for getting contracts created, signed, approved, expenses. I think more than anything, to me, as on the Firehouse Committee side, there's no, I don't know other than what you mentioned about something from a previous meeting, I don't know of anything that mandates the committee, its existence. And if people start, if should we get into a situation where anything becomes adversarial, they're going to ask, well, who are the people on the committee? Why are they on it? How did it get formed? When was it formed? What power does it have? And so forth, So, I think there's a way that, in the Firehouse group, we have to provide good, clear documentation for the PC to approve ongoing. And then maybe it doesn't have any real power, but it's just a working group. I don't know. I think the idea was to discuss that a little bit and come up with at least some awareness around it, if not a plan. I don't know if anybody has any other thoughts.
The time that committee was created was the time when Steve, the architect, was here presenting to everybody. And at the end of that, those people, Gary, Art, maybe even Lynn was here. Those people were here and volunteered for the committee. And so I don't know if there was like an official motion by the PC. I actually kind of think like the PC had a meeting prior to the architect and then closed its meeting, and then the architect came forward. So it may be that there wasn't an official establishment of a committee, and it certainly wasn't in any great detail. And
Sure.
it didn't get into processes. So that might be appropriate. But the PC was here at that time. It's just the members were, not all. It's really the PC.
I think I have some minutes from there.
Yeah, I might have run out of it in minutes because it was after the PC meeting.
Let me ask Steve and Janice, are you okay with us moving forward? Or do you have other ideas about your participation?
Philosophically, we had a few discussions in the PC about, forming committees around certain topics or, things that require some detailed participation, right? And I think the idea was that committees, because we did have PC members in the past who just didn't believe in committees because they thought that every committee would be staffed with one or two people that would have an outsized influence on what the committee would recommend, and that could still occur, right? But they claim to have identified instances where things have been done in the past in the community based upon one person in a committee who wasn't on the PC, basically affecting this change, whatever change it was. So we decided philosophically that committees were still okay because there are things that the community needs to get done that can't possibly be done by just the people on the PC. but that we would have representation, a PC representation on these committees.
Mhm.
And we do have that with the firehouse. I mean, we have multiple people from the PC on the committee.
Mhm.
And the idea would be that the committee would, would help do some of the detailed work and would make recommendations on things that the PC would in turn, provide its approval on. Typically things that have to do with signing contracts and the like.
Mhm. Mhm. I'm good with that.
Dennis, does that fit in with what you're thinking?
Yes, it does.
Peter, does that give you any more clarity? I could look up from that meeting and see what, because since that meeting, I mean, we've had Wendy Kropp has joined for lighting. Because she's got a lot of interest in lighting and the atmosphere of the place. Wendy Blatt has offered to help. I'm not quite sure in what regard. So we can have other people join us if we feel like there's room in where we're.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, some of my thoughts are around, as if the committee continues to expand,
Yeah.
if we had a member every month during the course of the project, it's going to be overwhelming, and we're going to need to figure out. And I'm not really proposing anything. I'm just raising the question. I think of like, what. I think maybe we all take some time to think about it and try to address it maybe at our next meeting. But there needs to be some organization or authority over what's happening in that group. Things have been really good and smooth and amicable and have worked really well, and we've all been kind and patient with each other and so forth. But I just my having seen things unravel locally in our neighborhood at times. This is a real project that's not, won't like somebody needs to sort of figure out how to be in charge of it, or at least have a mechanism in there where the credential committee can say, okay, this is getting out of control, or I don't know. I mean, I don't really, I'm not trying to foresee any sort of like misdirection.
So
I just don't want to be caught with her in a strange place.
What's your current feeling about the composition of folks on the committee?
My feeling is that it's fine. My question isn't so much about the composition necessarily, the exact composition. I think that, as we need to get more practical, and we're going to need to get more practical, and we're going to get more effective, pretty soon here as things start happening. It's been, it's sort of been, a conceptual exercise to date, and once the saws are turned on and the hammers are going, it's there's going to be dependence on us to make decisions in a timely manner and to make decisions that reflect the will of the group at least, and if not the community, and figure out how to do things in in the best, most effective way. That's the best for us all. And I don't want to wrap it in. I'm not saying I don't want to wrap it in some voting thing or some more, any kind of formality, but I don't know. I think it was important to me to at least have a discussion about it.
I think this is a really good idea. That's something, the water committee has a charge that was approved by the PC, and that's on the water page of the website, so you can look at it. I think, you made a point at the end there. Yeah, I think there are definitely going to be decisions that have to be made by a committee that are not going to go to the PC. There are going to be so many, you want to figure out a dividing line between what the PC decides and what is delegated to the PC. And, there's 2 PC members on the committee, so there's that, link. But, there's tons of little decisions that have to get made on an instantaneous basis.
We have, just to answer Steve, we have 3 people with construction backgrounds. We have 2 people who are interested in fundraising. Now we have Cindy, who's really, really very good with lighting and ambiance, if you will. With my point, we struggle between hearing the voice of the neighborhood in terms of controlling the cost and complying with the MERC grant so that we create a watertight, moisture-proof, mold-free environment. And if there's any left over for amenities, we can talk about that. So this is going to be either really well-insulated bare shell or something that has with a good floor. The flooring is going to be so we have good talent. We have people who are really interested in the construction side. I think hopefully by our next meeting, our attorney's going to give us, our architect's going to give us some real ideas about what. And he understands that tension because we really want to maximize the building. We have added the roof. Probably going to need to replace the roof.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but beyond that, choice of color and what kind the walls are going to be, sheetrock, and they're going to be white. What we do with it after that is really on us.
Yeah, the reason I asked about the composition of the group and so forth is that, I don't really see a reason why the PC why there can't be a motion that basically establishes a committee.
Yeah.
So there's no scope creep of individuals wanting. If individuals in the community want to provide input, they can come to PC meetings when the committee provides an update on some of the issues that may arise, and they can voice their opinions, but not have it be a situation where individuals decide to get involved and want to get on the committee because they have one thing that they want to make sure happens out of the thousands of decisions that need to occur, right? And so I don't see why if we wanted to, why we couldn't pass a motion to establish a committee, and then not in such a way to kind of close out everyone else in the community, but just create a structure where there'd be kind of reporting, maybe on a monthly or quarterly basis of some of the issues that the committee encountered and their respective recommendations that they're making. And then the PC can either sign off on it if it requires a sign off, and then individual people from the community can voice their opinion.
Yeah, we should be preparing an update after our architect presents us since our last meeting. We should have some good stuff to update.
It seems
I
like
think that sorry. I don't want to create any more work for anyone because we've got a lot of work to do already. I think, to me, what the best course of action here might be is that we ask that the Firehouse Committee creates at least a minimal structure for itself and sort of a mission and scope statement. If nothing else, limit decisions, empower the committee to make decisions up to a certain dollar amount, a certain amount per month, let's say. Or that doesn't affect a given budget before we start construction, and have that developed by that committee and then adopted by the Prudential Committee rather than us as a Prudential Committee sitting here and trying to define what that committee should do. Because that committee is a lot bigger than the Prudential Committee, and has a lot less on its agenda today. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but we might.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Janice, that makes sense to you?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's good. That's a good resolve to that. We can.
So can I propose a motion sorry that we have a little lag in the audio, so I'm sorry if I'm jumping in. But I would make a motion to create a firehouse committee to manage the firehouse project, and to designate it with some authority to do its business, pending a structure and mandate document that will be delivered by that committee.
Is there a second? Steve, no? That makes sense. That's great. Appreciate that. Any other discussion on that? Good stuff for a vote? In favor? Right?
Aye.
So move.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, we're running a little late. Water report. So Steve Crawley's here for the water report.
Okay, so Andy sent this around. And Jill, do you know if you got this from Andy? It's a water report we sent out a couple of days ago.
No,
I'll forward it to you.
thanks.
I have a hard copy here that I'll give you.
Still unclear what I'm doing.
Okay, well, let me just jump into this thing.
Yeah.
So, let's see, water use. We used 313,249 gallons in July compared to 310,000 last year. I can tell you doing the readings that including part of August, that the daily use was astronomical compared
what?
to what it is. The daily water use,
Oh, okay.
like we use 7 to 10,000, maybe 11 on a given day normally. It's been regularly up to 14 or 15, but last week it was kind of warm, wet, and dry. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we were using 15, 16, one day we had 26,000 gallons used in one day.
Is that
Oh, wow.
just months?
It is just, I'm sure it is, because if it were a leak, like yesterday it was 10,500. So back to normal. So if there was a leak, it wouldn't go away, but it's gone away. And so anyway, but we do fine with that. I guess the good side of that is that we do just fine. We're not in trouble. We did a bacteria test, had 5 lines that were no bacteria detected. Under repairs and maintenance, Andy had the large dehumidifier repaired. So that's working much better. It's a really big deal because it's cool in there and all that metal will get condensation on it and with all the humidity. So it's year round, it's a big deal. Andy is preparing to flush the line that goes down to the beach house, which we have to do periodically. But he's got to work that out with Parks and Rec or Parks Foreman. And to replace a part the chlorine injector that adds chlorine into our system. And that's working fine now. Andy and I met with our new operator, Lane Simon, at the pump house and went over testing and operations and everything we could. We had a pretty thorough discussion about that. I'm not quite sure how much you're all up to date, but they are beginning now. They're starting, and we're not sure what the overlap will be with me and Andy staying on. But there's going to be some. Lane is the owner of the business. It's Simon Operating Systems, SOS, and he has a number of people that work for him as he manages 30 systems around the state. So he's got people that do the hands-on work. Their work is going to be limited to things like doing the reporting to the state that happens every month and taking the samples that we take on a monthly basis or annual basis and delivering those to the lab. So those are the main things. As to any other things, we're going to have to figure out overlap between us because we don't want them doing every little thing. And we want, especially on somebody in the neighborhood, to respond to calls from neighbors. And a lot of the response to those calls will be handled by a plumber or by an excavator, but not by Simon Operating Systems. So we have to figure that out. So we're planning on taking a water sample, bacteria sample on Thursday. It works for the homeowner,
Okay.
in the water.
And
And,
is a person coming with you?
yeah, I'll be there with him, introduce him. I haven't met him yet, actually, but
Morning or afternoon?
I don't have it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about the automated reading system is that?
So, that's next. So Andy's addressed that. Don Martin is the installer, and he'll be installing that, August 23rd, 24th. And that's gonna handle all of the readings, including, a real-time chlorine reading, which is helpful.
So is there any, is there gonna be any side-by-side testing of that, like automated versus manual, just to confirm?
At first, there will be, yeah, to see how well it,
Oh, actually,
yeah, I think they always do that, but I think we're probably do more than what they usually do. Let's see. So one new thing is that we have actually 2 lock boxes at the pump house now. One for the fire department, which the South Florida Fire Department has requested that we have one of their standard type lock boxes, and then we have another that's for Simon Operating Systems to use. Let's see. There's some confusion about the addresses. I don't think that's important here. The 911 listing is different. Fire department uses. You skip down here. There were some issues that came with the paving, where some of our recently, we spent a lot of time locating shut-offs, and including some of the valves in the street, and at least one of those was covered up. So we had relocated that, and we're trying to get the city to, to help us. You sort of lift the sleeve to make it level again with the road. So that's got to happen. That's it.
Do you think we're gonna get monthly reports like this? After some period of time?
I don't know what the arrangement is going to be on that. We haven't figured out the monthly. I don't know how. I guess it's worth thinking. Maybe we do this informally, but off meeting time. But figuring out what of this recording, what is valuable. Right. I don't know how much of it. They used to be a lot longer.
I know.
And so they've been condensed a lot in the last few years. And I don't know, like if
I'll put that on the next meeting.
yeah, and feel free, like for tonight, and this, we'll get a copy of this, and they're all in the minutes of all the meetings or something like that, and you could.
Can I ask about the water committee? Sharon walked by this board today and said that she's not on the committee anymore. Yeah, she explained to this.
Well, she never was on the water committee.
Oh.
She took up a project on her own, and the water committee is separate. And the water committee, as a committee, has not met in a little bit because there's so much else going on between the stuff that, she sort of set up a separate committee with Laura and Joy.
Yeah, okay.
And
I'm gonna take her, I thought she was on, I'm gonna take her name off the agenda for the future. I think that's what she wanted.
actually forgot, I forgot that that's the case with Sharon.
Okay.
They set up a meeting committee that was interviewing the
Right, selection.
candidates.
Yeah, it was sort of just from the perspective of our water committee, I don't mean to make a judgment about that. I think they did great work and everything, but it became a bit much to try to do all these things. Plus some of the same people on the firehouse committee that are on this. So, but we've been moving forward, and the one other item that the water committee had on its regular agenda is the finishing up of the asset management, plan mapping, a couple other things. And that's proceeding.
Okay,
That at this point doesn't need a committee, but
but so will the water committee take up the idea of a contact person? With the word out that we need one, or should we do
I
that?
think, yeah, I think it's good to continue to have a water committee, and it makes sense to have that there. You know, at least take it to the next step, and if anybody has ideas.
Okay.
And you're on that
You're
committee.
referring to contact person for the community.
Right.
In the event they,
Yeah.
it's an issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you take that up as an item, or you want us,
Yeah.
you want us to put the word out, just the word out now?
Why don't we put an email out to the committee and see what people
Do
think.
you want to do that from the water committee, or should I do that from the PC? Okay,
From the water committee, put it in the water committee, and then kick it up to you guys.
okay. I think it's always handy if it comes from lower, you know,
Yeah.
from the actual people who understand that.
Yeah, and you know, it's taking calls, but then actually somebody's gonna have to do something about the calls,
Right.
typically. Yeah. And you know, it's gonna feel different, because like people call with a problem in their basement, and Andy's been very generous
Right.
with his time about helping people solve their problems.
I get the feeling that he's not gonna be able to do that.
I think that's gonna be different.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Anything, any comments from Janice or Peter on this? You guys okay?
Yep.
Yeah, not at all. That's
I don't have
all.
any comments either. I'm good.
Super, thanks for that. And are you gonna be out of action for some period of time?
I am, I'm gonna be, yeah, Andy and I are figuring out, and Andy is, I guess that's worth bringing up, that we are looking for somebody else to continue doing these readings, because it's gonna be a little while, and then I'm gonna be in a recliner.
Is that fellow Corey available, do you think?
I don't know. Don't know, I brought that up with Andy, and I met Corey just once, but I don't know.
What was your question? Excuse me, Larry, what was your question you just asked?
So the idea of having a contact, so Steve's gonna be laid up for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Steve's gonna be laid up for a bit, thank you. Yeah, we're getting a speaker over here, hold on.
A little bit, that's it.
He brought that for some reason.
Okay.
And so we need to put the word out to the neighborhood about a contact between for people to call, the neighbors to call about an issue with their water.
Right, I
And
got
then
that
that-
part. It was just the last sentence. It sounded like you said something like Corey, but I know it wasn't Corey, but what?
It is Corey, our new neighbor on Maple Street, Corey, whose last
Oh,
name I don't know.
Corey. Okay,
Corey.
got it.
So
Oh.
maybe I'll reach out to him and see if that's something. But we put the word out for sure,
Yeah,
and then get it underway and we'll.
Is this water testing on an interim basis?
yes. Yep, I think that's the main thing. Because like you brought up, it's really good to have parallel testing while we get this thing up and running, to see that it's gonna be consistent the way we need it. My guess is it's gonna be way more consistent than us going at, you know, one night's be 7 o'clock and then 9 o'clock. We have a machine just do it at a set time, maybe
Mhm.
even multiple times a day. And with a real consent.
Alrighty. So let's
I mean, if you can't find anyone, I'll, you know, if I can be trained, I'll step on.
Okay.
If it's an interim type of thing.
Definitely interim.
Well, certainly while Steve is laid up, we're gonna need somebody.
Hmm.
If the automatic system is being installed in August and your time is shortly thereafter,
Yeah,
we're gonna need to have somebody.
yeah.
Right in.
And then Andy's gonna be away for a week, late September.
Yeah.
And I will still be late up.
I just have a little question. I know Laura Waters used to do it. I wonder if she'd be willing to do it since she's already trained just for that interim period. It wouldn't hurt to ask her. I wouldn't mind asking her if you want me to.
Yeah, be great, Janice, thank you. So
Okay,
it's
just
an interim period when Steve is laid up and the automatic
It's actually
system.
ongoing. I mean, the need may disappear.
Right.
completely, in which case it would be just temporary. But I'm not sure about that yet.
Okay.
But I'm really eager, very eager to not have this
Yeah.
everyday requirement, because it means that I have to juggle with Andy about going go away for a couple of days, which, you know, that's for the last day.
Janice, why don't you do that first and let me know what she says?
You can, Larry?
I
Okay,
say, why don't you let you do yours
Okay.
first, and then if Steve will put the word out to the community that we're looking, Steve,
okay.
right, and to the committee, and, we have
Okay.
Steve Rosen has offered for some period, and then we can talk further about it.
I just
Sounds
need to
great.
know how long is this interim period projected to be? A month and a half?
I think you'd have to ask Andy,
Andy, okay,
because I don't have that. I mean, I think that we could figure it out in about 2 days.
okay.
I think once it's installed, we will know within a day if it's all accurate.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's not very
But I
long.
think, yeah, but that's my opinion. That's not Andy's opinion. Andy is
Okay.
saying, but the other thing is, again, voicing Andy's opinion on this. There's a lot of things that you want to take a look at. We're not going to have an automated reading to see that the dehumidifier is working, or that the heat is working, or that there's not a lot of condensation or water leak, or, water leaks we would know because we do have a sensor for that. But he wants to be sure we have eyes on this on a fairly regular basis. We'll see how that plays out. I don't know how that's going to go. I think it's probably fair to say that the operators that we spoke to when Sharon and Joy and Laura were talking to various operators, they all agreed that it was not necessary to look at it every day. And they don't do that on any of their systems. So then it just comes down to, what we want for our system.
I have a quick question. Was there for the new system? Is there going to be an internet connection in that in the pump house?
It's not going to be a standard internet connection. It is going to be a wireless connection that sends a message out, just like our alarm system does.
Right.
Our alarm
Okay.
system, but they have a cloud essentially. The company has its own cloud that it connects to. It's not going to be Wi-Fi at pump house.
Got it.
It's SOS, it's a connection to SOS.
It's a connection to the company that provides the sensors. And SOS will have access to and so to see the data, if that's what you're wondering about, to see the data, anybody can have the password.
The thing that I was thinking about was just the other, like the physical monitoring of the pump house itself for temperature and humidity. You can buy a really cheap thermostat with this capability, like $100 thermostat. It can send warnings, email warnings. If the temperature goes out of a certain range or the humidity goes out of a certain range. I use those. I've got a ton of those.
Our existing alarm system may include temperature on what it monitors. I don't think it does humidity. It does water on the floor.
Hmm.
I don't think it does humidity.
Okay, for the sake of time, let's move on. If that's okay with everybody?
Yep.
This next item, accounting system update and financial statement. There's nothing new to report on that.
Let's have the,
Here you are. Well, good luck with you, Steve.
See.
There's an elevator here. You need to-
I'm good. Actually, the stairs are the easiest part of my day. Does anybody want the?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I think, I don't remember if he sent this to me, but
You did.
he did.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
So I'm gonna keep this item on because at some point we'll get, Mandy, he wants to go back to the quarterly reporting. But in the meantime, we had that accounting system upgrade and things that just hasn't happened yet. So we'll keep this on and one of these days we'll have an update, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, my experience with Mandy is when she decides to get around to doing stuff, it's all on her
She's
timetable.
been having some personal matters that have taken up her time, so. So the next item here, the role of the clerk and how to fill the secretary position. How to best warn meetings and add warnings, meeting minutes and Zoom recording to the website. Again, that part. Jill offered to take notes, become secretary. I think we've had some confusion over the responsibility of the clerk versus the secretary. Steve has served as both for the past 10 years, really, and has his systems. And those systems are been hard to figure out how to do. Jill, do you want to add anything to? My understanding at this point, Jill, is
I've written enough.
Hmm?
I've written enough.
okay, but my understanding now is that you don't want to be the clerk.
I am not, I am not proficient with technology.
What? I can't hear anything.
I'm not proficient with
So-
technology,
Yeah, hold on.
so.
There's a little speaker there.
Because I'm not proficient with technology, I don't think I'm the person for the job. It was not clear that that's what the job entailed. I actually wasn't clear even that I was gonna be clerk, so. You know, I am not competent to do, computer related stuff. So, and I mean that sincerely. It's not, I can do what I need to do for my job. But I'm not proficient with hooking up different elements, posting on websites or even the language involved. And though Steve Rosen valiantly tried to teach me, I just, you know, quite frankly, I have a bit of a learning disorder around math and that kind of thinking. So it's just not, I'm not competent to do it.
Well, the election in our manual meeting was for the clerk. I recall that there was, in Steve's inimitable way, talked about the clerk, the secretary. They were merged into one position. Maybe it wasn't that clear, but the warning was for a clerk. And that's what we're responsible for having in the fire district, a clerk. Now the clerk, according to the league, the clerk, the clerk shall keep a record of the meetings, votes, and proceedings of such district and for the inspection of the inhabitants. So keeping a record is different than being a secretary. But I think at this point we have to figure out how to fill the clerk's room. Jill has signed some things as clerk that she signed resolutions that establish the vote, for example. She signed the vote tally sheet as clerk. I think those things we can continue doing. And I'm trying to find somebody who can play more of a secretarial role in interacting with all the technology, either automated or
Yeah, it's too bad Steve had to leave because I have a couple of questions. I mean, I'm assuming that the interfacing with technology relates to documents and meeting, you know, like audio, video of this meeting, for example, making sure that all of that resides in a safe place on our fire district share drive. And some of it we make accessible to the community on the website via links.
Right.
So if that's kind of the extent of it, then I mean, that's something that I could do. I know Peter can do that as well. I mean, it's
I can share that with you. I mean, I'm
if you know how to do it, it's 10 minutes worth of effort.
So how about if we do this? How about if we maintain Jill as clerk?
You
Deciding,
say that, yes, my memory is that when you asked the city what the role of the clerk was, it was quite involved, actually. So, I think it needs to be looked at. And I'm not sure that I can fulfill those roles.
okay, so
Clerk, it's not clear really what the clerk is, except for what Steve has done. But when Larry researched what the role of the clerk was vis-a-vis the city, he sent us all a description. I don't have it on the screen of what that entailed, and it was, as my reflection was, that it was somewhat elaborate.
Mhm.
And so I think, that needs to be looked at. And I don't want to say, yes, I will do it. I don't want to be cavalier about it. So I'm not at this point saying that I can do whatever that position is, because it was not trained.
well here. I mean, here's a maybe a proposal. I don't know. Steve has offered to help with the technical aspects of this. I am happy to help him help you with that as well. So, you can have at your disposal two competent people to help support those efforts. We run into this thing not infrequently here, and it's when we say, "Oh, well, we don't know what we're supposed to do, or we don't know what that is, or what this is. You've got to tell me." This committee is not. I mean, there's nobody's in charge. Like we're a group of volunteers, who have the same capabilities as each other to look up and to find out information from the city or the League of City and Towns, what needs to be done or what's required or how to get around certain things. Um, and so puts us in a strange position when we have community members who have pointed at us and said, "Oh, you're not following the rules, or you're not doing this, you're not doing that. You must do this, you must do that." And it's difficult to sort of process those comments for me, because somebody points at me and says, "You're doing something wrong," and I go, "Well, you know what? I'm just here I'm doing my best to help. That's what I'm here for. We all have limitations." And so I think it would
Are you
be.
talking about me?
No, Jill, I'm not. I'm not specifically talking about you. I'm not. No, I'm not. No, these comments are not directed at a person. I think I'm trying to explain what I felt as a theme, um, and that leads to a comment. A comment that I think would be directed towards you in response to what you're saying. Which of course, nobody can ask you to do more than you're willing to do, right? And it's not. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not that familiar with the role that you've taken personally, and so I can't. I can't provide any suggestion about it. I'm just. I think the thing that I'm trying to bring forward is that since we're all volunteers here, and we're all trying to, in the same way, help our community, right? That it does fall on our own shoulders sometimes figure out where we can help and where we can't, and rather than
I
maybe.
do have a question, which is like, so who is responsible for mapping out what the roles
We are.
supposed to
We
be.
are collectively. There's no. That's the problem, right? We don't. There's no one to point to. And so it's not. I'm sure it sounds like a negative comment, and I don't mean it in any negative way at all. I think it's mostly an acknowledgement of of what we do as a committee, right? Which is like, I mean, the way that I approach it, which is like I'm trying to help, and I'll do my best with what I have time to do, and I don't know everything, and I'll ask questions, and so in this case, like I would say, I'm offering to help take over, help collaborate with Steve to take over some of the duties of the role that you're in, and so maybe it would be fantastic if you were able to do a little bit of research and see what the limitations are and requirements are of the role itself. And then we'll help you. If you need to get out of it, you get out of it. I mean, you can walk away. I mean, no one's going to stop you. And we can all do the same thing. It becomes a difficult kind of balance to strike in some ways when.
I think a starting point, instead of taking a look at whatever the city or the state has put forward as the role of the clerk, and look at it as being something that's all encompassing and complex to the point of wanting to walk away. Why can't we just take a look at specific responsibilities and activities that Steve Crowley
Right.
performed in those roles, and then figure out how to get it done? So, for example, I may not want to remember every month or every week that this or that thing needs to be done, or uploaded to this or downloaded to that, or posted here or there. But seeing that you don't, want to or feel capable of doing the technology, and if you were to be able to say to me, Steve, we need to have this document put up on the website. We need this meeting notes to be put into, the shared drive, or repository where it's safe. And, if you were able to tell me that these things need to be done, that would be helpful to me, because then I just go boom, 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 and just get it done. Instead of my having to remember, oh shit, I forgot to send out the meeting invite.
So I know,
Or something like that.
like that role. That's one of the reasons this is on the agenda the first time. So let me ask you, I think Peter said, if you could walk away and just resign. Or you could work with us and do the minimum that's required, which is signing important pieces of paper as clerk, and we'll do all the rest. Yeah, I think we need a clerk actually to sign, not the contracts, the things that we have to interact with. That might be something from the bank. We need to have a clerk for the structure of the fire district. We can do all the technical.
Well, I've been signing the G statements initially,
Right, yeah, that was a task.
but I know like clerk certifies the elections, right?
Right, so she did that. We did that. You did that, remember? So why don't you let us know how you'd like to proceed? Given that we have to be out here at 8 o'clock.
I don't think about it.
Okay, and let us know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I see it, so the very least would be signing important things as clerk, so that we have a clerk. And then we'll take care of this. What's that?
If I'm really good
just
at like
curious.
doing
I'm just curious,
tasks.
when I put out questions, when I wrote to all of you, I was really seeking to understand. I am actually a worker bee. So all I'm trying to figure out is what's my role. Now, some people have the history of that. I do not, right? So I don't understand why no one ever got back to me. It's as if it's like shouting out into the wind. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And I don't have the history. So I don't understand what the problem was with getting back to me and answering questions. That's my communication issue. And, I get it that we're all trying to help. I would like to help. But I had no idea what the difference between the roles. I walked into the meeting, I was, came from work. Hey, I thought they said secretary. I thought you can take notes. I'll do it. And then someone said, oh, I said, but I can't be there. Someone said, no problem, we'll figure that out. And that was that. So it's like, I will think about it. I don't feel comfortable with the way this has gone down. And I think that there needs to be some system going forward to be able to pass this stuff along to other people coming in so they can actually do the jobs. And some of what I wrote was, I could collect that information. I'm good at writing. I can write it up. But I have no idea if that is an interest. So it's sort of like this weird intersect between, we're just kind of a funky community, and I'm cool with that. But then we're also in this technological age that has all kinds of like, is this legal to do? Is this not legal to do? If I'm signing something, it's like, I may not just want to sign something willy-nilly. Like, I'm not a rubber stamp person. If I'm doing something, I want to know why. And so it's not like I'm saying, hey, this, I wanted to do the job. But I haven't felt at all, except Steve Rosen really did give me some really tried to help. It's just that I'm inept.
You're not enough. We all know tons of people who are just not tech savvy.
Yeah, I'm not inept with tech, thank you. I'm very good at other things. And I know the things I'm good at. There's been no communication between me. So I will think about what I want to do, but I just wanted to say that for the rest of it.
In terms of the any technical aspect of those roles, like we can support you in them. Answers about the roles themselves, I'm not qualified, not qualified to do any of this. So I don't know how to advise. But I think I get the feeling that we've been rolling along and people have been taking on these roles because they feel passionate about it or whatever, and make the
Maybe I'm
best.
just lucky then, but
Jill, none of this. I don't. None of my comments are directed at you or what you're facing here.
I appreciate that. But I think there's a little bit of an overlay, and and if you pair it with, there have been no responses to what I've written, which I try to be articulate and clear. I am not.
It's not a reflection on you, right? I mean, it's not.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't personal, certainly, and
Mm-mm.
it was. I don't think. If I had anything to add in response, I would have myself, but I can't speak for anyone else.
Can I just say something, Jill? I just want to say, I got your email and I'm sorry. I felt like it was not anything I could really answer because I'm just, it's not my strong area at all, being a clerk or a secretary. So I just kind of like, I just did not respond, and I'm sorry about that. I didn't know what to say. It's kind of like all Greek to me, that part of things. So I I understand how you may feel like you were being ghosted because you didn't get answers from everybody, but I just don't. I just want to make sure that in at least I don't think it was meant to be taken personally. It was for me. It was a matter of my ineptitude. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You'll let us know what you think after this discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other business for the committee? And is there a motion to adjourn? So move.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We're adjourned. 7:55. Your next meeting, third Tuesday in September.
Fantastic.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming.
Good,
Thank
everybody.
Yeah,
you.
See you
Good
next-
night.
Take care.
Next time in person, hopefully.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Glad the technology worked.
Yeah.